right, you guys probably know about the Divergent movie series. It was a sci-fi dystopian movie series starring an empowered female lead. Wow, so shocking. And in the first movie, society is divided up into 5 factions based on what type of person they are. And the strong female lead, she rebels against it because she's divergent, right? She's like rebelling against nationalism, right? That's basically what it is, you know? Wanting to be multicultural. There's nothing divergent about the movie, but there's a new one called Allegiant. So let's play a clip and take a look at it.
My name is Tris Pryor, and I'm here to reveal the truth. There are others who exist on this planet. They do not view us as equals. They call themselves the pure, and they call us the damaged. They created a wall to divide us from their world, and factions to divide us from each other.
We will build the wall, you know that. We will build the wall.
We were their experiment, and it almost destroyed us. They tried to make us forget who we are, and where we're from. But they did not succeed. So here we stand, together, not as 5 factions, but as one city. And we're gonna tear down their wall.
We will build the wall.
You've seen us, but now, we see you. To those of you beyond the wall, hear me loud and clear, because I know you're listening. Chicago is not your experiment. It is our home.
And it always will be.
Yeah, I love how these movies, the timing of them, not only the content, but the morals, the didactic, you know, nonsense and garbage in these movies. It's just unbelievable. This idea of the perpetual outsider, right? The suppressed, this idea that everyone is a unique snowflake, you know, while kind of the sub-moral storyline underneath is kind of that they're pushing a monoculture, right? Where equality is the highest virtue, where everyone is going to be the same. I mean, this is like SJW, social justice warrior sci-fi. This is a new genre. And you said, Lana, it's just there's always this young female lead now in these movies. Always. It's like, oh, how unique, how new, how fresh, right? And it's always about merging. It's about breaking, you know, open portals. If it's, you know, sci-fi, blending, smashing together, breaking down, breaking apart, prying open, destroying, you know, this separate wall between
forcing
these worlds, and
together.
you know, always like that. You know, despite the fact that these issues in itself is a very Caucasian trait, to be honest, of equality and these virtues that are weaved into it. But what is it? This is like is it the 4th or 5th movie in the series?
I think it was the 3rd one. Shoot, I didn't
think
look.
so,
But basically in this one, she's talking about, you know, the pure ones versus the damaged ones. So it's clearly the writers concocted this twisted view of like merging national socialism, eugenics, and nationalism, and how they think people like us think about the multicult, you know? There's actually a Bureau of Genetic Welfare, and it's supposed to be this, you know, highly advanced city where they learned years ago the government believed that the society's problems were created by damaged genes.
Yeah, they should be divided,
and
right?
In an attempt to create a better society, they begin to modify the genes, right? And what does that sound like? Obviously. And then they set up experiments in an attempt to repair this mistake, you know, and they isolated people in cities across the U.S. hoping to kind of fix the damage that happened. So I was like, okay, well, you could summarize it like this. Young liberals go to the Bureau of Racial Equality, where they learned years ago a faction said the world's problems were caused by non-whites, mass immigration, and mixing. And in an attempt to create a white society, they implemented eugenics, right? The government set up separate ethno-states to repair the damage and restore humanity since the world was in shambles from multiculturalism and mass immigration, because that's what happened here. These young liberals are told by the Bureau of Racial Equality that selective breeding and separation is evil. So purity leads to war and wanting to kill those who are impure or mixed. It leads to the Holocaust and supremacy. So the young female lead, of course, he leads the charge to break down the borders and boundaries and create this multicultural, one race, one culture, one world ultimately restoring humanity as equals. I mean, this is a total pipe dream.
Well, check out also the way they weave in the border, the wall into this, right, into the narrative. I mean, apparently this is a book series that came out first. It's a woman behind of Roth, something. And it's amazing how they weave the current narrative into these kinds of storylines of like, separation and you are on the outside and all this kind of stuff, without just recognizing the basic idea that like the way that you achieve diversity, a diversity of colors in a pack of watercolors, right, is that they're contained within their own boundaries and borders, right? This is what makes them unique. This is what separates them in their, among the other ones. Otherwise, if you blend everything together, what do you have? You just have a mishmash and a goo of everything, right?
It's
so they've taken
one block color.
They've taken this. That's why I weaved in the Trump, clip in this too, because it's like, let's destroy the wall, right? Let's use bombs and everything we can to just destroy these things that they're trying to keep us apart. It's just so, as I said, it's didactic. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, it's anti-nationalist, it's anti-white, it's globalist propaganda, it's all this diversity and oneness all the time. You have to just surrender to this blob and lose yourself. It's almost a lot of this Judaic programming too, of becoming nomads and rootless with no home and no people and nothing to defend anymore, right? And then they constantly have this fear of separation of law and order, or just categorizing people based on realities.
Yep.
I mean, nature
right.
already divided us. Let's just honor it. Why are these people so terrified of it, Well,
that's a good point too about the rootless nature to it, that they kind of want to have, in a global world, everyone would be a wandering who. You would have a world where everyone can roam free and there's no ties anymore of you to a group, to a specific geographical location. I mean, this would erode diversity quicker than anything else, and that's what's starting to happen now.
And when people are in control and they want to take over a place, it's great when people feel they have nothing to defend, no people, no country, then a predator could just come in and rule that place so easily. It's so obvious.
But this is what Hollywood does. This is what they do the best. It's really social engineering. It's mind control. I mean, many of you that have been with us for many years, know all this, right? But if there's newcomers, this is like they are emotionally programmed, these, libtard drones on a conveyor belt, manner with these movies coming out all the time. And I think that's also why you see such an incredible resistance to some of the things that maybe Trump has mentioned and other people too, because underlying in this, they've been so emotionally programmed that, these are the evils of the world. And somehow, even if they, are consciously aware of it or not, they want to erode all of these issues that has been weaved into the storyline of these kinds of movies, right? So they use the emotional programming within these kinds of movies to program people, and then they go out and become the warriors of social justice without really having thought about what it really means or what it is, right? And
it's funny because they think, just like how this movie series is, they think they're divergent, that they're diverging from some mainstream thought. When it's just like, the whole system talks like you. All the elites talk like you. There's nothing special about what you're talking about. And the elites and the globalists and those in charge in the system, it's all about multiculturalism. It's all about eroding borders and boundaries, right?
Right. They're the one who's like, they're defending people like this, right? You have a whole establishment that stands behind this mentality in our day and age, right? This is the moral virtue of our times, of our age. And yet you have this idea that these people are portraying themselves as outsiders, as suppressed, as being hunted for their opinions, for being divergent, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we are suppressed,
Well, the good news is, yes, this was the third one, and the fourth installment is called Ascendant, and this one didn't do well in the box office. It was a financial disappointment. Didn't do well. So then the fourth installment is called Ascendant, and they're probably going to make it for TV now. So
straight
that's good.
to DVD. Excellent. All right, very good. Well, it means that people are sick and tired of it then,
I hope so.
Because it's the same thing we have watched the previous movies, I think, in this series. I think we did watch them. I mean, I can't even remember them. They were so bad.
And her guy's always like a sidekick, and she knows better than him. She's a better fighter. She's smarter than him. She's more strategic than him.
Yep,
she does
definitely.
it all. He's just kind of like there to serve her.
Well, you saw the evil white man at the end there too. What's his name again? The actor there. It was in Dumb and Dumber. Anyway, I forget what his name now is, but Yeah, he's like the big white Anglo-Caucasian kind of evil dude that you can, project all your hate and anger towards.